Today I am going to be answering the question that nobody is asking, and that is who would win in the UFC tag team division? Which of these teams that I'm going to be making up here would come out on top? Now, like I said, I've been making up a few teams here that are kind of more of like a pound for pound thing where they're not like in the same weight class or anything like that. Like, I would not be taking this tier list very seriously. Like, if the teams that I'm going to be putting in the S and the A tier, like, I guess the factors I'll put into it, I guess I got to put someone in it, right? Like, I guess it'd be like an accumulation of skill, maybe. Like, obviously, like, the better the fighters are, and also like how well they would work together as a team. How good of a tag team or a faction would they be? Because again, I don't even know how the concept of actually like a tag team fight like in the UFC would even work or be structured, but we're just gonna say to hell with it, and we're just gonna roll with it, and just jumping straight into it here with the first one we got, and it's gonna be Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo, the Yappers. All right, I genuinely feel like, what's the name of their podcast? Like the Pound for Pound. Pound for Pound literally sounds like a WWE tag team name, and Usman and Cejudo fit the role. Okay, I feel like they would definitely play like that kind of bad guy, kind of heel role. Like somebody would have, like there would be like a little kid in the audience with a Short King t-shirt, and he would have like a poster that said, "I love Cejudo," and Cejudo would come up and like spit a bunch of shit in his face and then start ripping up the poster. It's not your day, little man. You have to get in the back of the line if you want to meet the champ. But honestly, in terms of these guys' skill set, I can't deny they're great fighters. I understand that they're not exactly in their prime right now, but respectively for each of their divisions, they're some of the best to ever do it, so I gotta put respect on that. But did y'all see the clip? I mean, you want to talk about like the podcast that these guys host, right? I swear I just saw a clip the other day that was like these two and Adesanya in a room just talking and laughing about how they're like 0-9 to their last 9. It's like a double-edged sword. I'm laughing with them, but I'm crying on the inside. It hurts, man. But I gotta consider that, you know what? These guys on paper are very, very skilled. They've done great things. Their legacies will forever be cemented, man. You know what I mean? Especially for this era. But at the end of the day, they're 0-9 in their last 9 with Izzy combined, man. The USA wrestling from Cejudo, it just ain't working as much as his mouth is nowadays. You know what I mean? And Usman, I think that he has a good chance to be Buckley, but it seems like he's more so of a full-time podcaster nowadays, just kind of looking for like a full retirement fight. I don't know why I keep going back and forth with taking this shit seriously and then not fucking taking it seriously. Usman and Cejudo, I'm going to put these guys in the A tier, okay? I feel like they'd be a solid team. They'd have each other's back. They kind of work well. On the podcast, you know, I mean, I'm not even listening to it. What the hell do I know? But like in the cage, I feel like it would be someone that they would click, okay? These guys are literally just the human version of Donkey Kong and Diddy, all right? Moving on to the next one we got here, man. Team Goofy Goobers. Team, you better put up a sign because there's a wet floor so you don't slip. It's Dricus Du Plessis and Renier De Ridder. I mean, people always kind of compare these guys anyway, saying that they kind of have like that goofy, slipping on a banana peel kind of style because like they're so efficient and kind of technically well-rounded, a lot more so DDP than anything, but like it's crazy how far these guys can go or have gone and shit like that, and how good of fighters they are. But it is sloppy, man. It is just literally like whether you're a hardcore or a casual, like it just depends on the spectrum of how much you're gonna bat an eye at it. You know what I mean? I feel like DDP and RDR are even walking out to the cage, like they're just gonna collapse, and then the audience is gonna go knocking down like a thing of dominoes. You know what I'm saying? These guys are just the clusterfucks, all right? They are efficient, they're well-rounded, they're mean on the feet, and they got good grappling. But I'm gonna put these guys in like the B tier. I feel like on their own, all right, individually, their sloppiness, it somehow works for their style. It's efficiency above all, you know what I mean? But as a team, I feel like the two negatives wouldn't cancel out and make a positive. I feel like that they would kind of just be two clusterfucks in there. So I feel like the chemistry wouldn't work as well as you think, you know what I mean? Two wrongs aren't exactly making a right in this situation. The wrongs on their own just make a right, if that makes sense. If that makes any sense at all. How the hell did they give me a college degree, man? Moving on up next now, man, to a bit of like a Rock and Cena tag team vibe we got going on here, all right? Like enemies turned into a team. John Jones and Tom Aspinall. I'm going to put these guys in the S tier because there's a world where John Jones, all right, he's not some kind of big old fucking jackass, and there's a world where like Aspinall's on his good side, okay? And I could see, even like I said, even as like a Rock versus Cena, okay, on paper, all right, they hate each other, they can't stand each other, but they worked well, all right? They had the aura, it had that big team factor to it, that big team feel, and I feel like that's what Jones and Aspinall just feels like. These two combined, skill for skill wise, I mean, they're some of the best heavyweights to ever fucking do it. I feel like Rock and Cena, I know I keep bringing them up, but I feel like it's the perfect comparison here. Like it's two guys that like they can't stand each other. Like Aspinall would like tag himself in, and when John is about to get like the finish, and all of a sudden John would just look at him like, Like, I'm about to beat your ass, motherfucker. Like, some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you literally can't script it any better. So I feel like Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall, like, they would fuck with each other. They'd hate each other, and you'd think that it would just mess them up. But you know what? I feel like there'd be some compatibility here, okay? Even if Jon Jones was taking a liking to Tom Aspinall, makes them bearable to be in the same cage as each other or around each other without killing each other. You know what I mean? Trying to kill the other team. So I'm going to put him in the S tier, all right? Moving on up next now to the next one we got, man. It's going to be Joe Pyfer and Jamal Hill. These guys, I'm just randomly putting them together, okay? This is kind of one of those like teams kind of in the mid-league where it's like they're just two guys that were randomly put together to work together, and it's like, all right, like I don't even know this guy, and they end up like driving to work together every day, all right, traveling the road, and then a few months in, they're best fucking friends. Why do I feel like that is Joe Pyfer and Jamal Hill, okay? I feel like if you put these guys in a room or a car together, all right, for the first hour they'd want to kill each other, but by the time that somebody opened up the doors to the outside, they'd be best fucking friends, all right? So Joe Pyfer and Jamal Hill, I'm gonna put him in the D tier because it's purely just too chaotic, all right, for anybody's own good, okay? The amount of conquerors hockey that comes off at these two, okay? And I mean that in a negative way, okay? These guys, nobody give them a mic. Nobody give them a hot mic, okay? I'd be curious as hell to see, all right, if they had like some press conferences or some build-ups for a goddamn tag team division. Joe Pyfer and Jamal Hill would be the heel of all heels, okay? And it wouldn't be like, they would be one of those like guys that are being dicks or just like speaking their mind. They're not even doing it based off the script. They are speaking their mind, and they don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. They give a big fuck you to the people. And you know what? That's why some people rock with them and a lot of people are talking shit about them. But fuck them. They don't care, okay? Joe Pyfer and Jamal Hill, what do I even call these guys? Like, I'm gonna give these guys the D tier. They're too chaotic for their own good, alright? Moving on up next now, man, to Sean Strickland and Colby Covington. Team America, alright? Here's the fucking thing, you guys. Me and Colby are gonna go to war for you people. We're just gonna bleed. I'm gonna do it for you fucking guys. Sean Strickland and Colby Covington, I'm gonna put them in the B tier. I feel like that, like, eventually they're just two alpha male motherfuckers, okay? We'll take that how you will, but they're two alpha male motherfuckers. The egos are a bit too big, and you know what? It's taken them far in life, all right? All credit to them, but I feel like eventually you can't have two guys like that eventually be a successful team for long. I feel like they would crack. One of them wants too much attention. One of them wants more of the shine. The other one just can't stand each other. Like, these guys, like, they could get along, but you know what? If you let them yap together for too long, they're gonna fucking hate each other by the end of it. It's like the opposite of whatever the hell I just said about Joe Pyfer and Jamal Hill, all right? On paper, you think that Strickland and Colby, you know, we love America, motherfucker. You know, I wake up and I flip pancakes and I bleed red, white, and blue, motherfuckers. And Colby would be all for it, and it's just like, you think that that would be, on paper, a dream team, but I feel like they would get so goddamn sick of each other. Colby or Strickland, they betray each other, all right? You would get like a steel chair shot from the back, from behind, whatever the fuck. Honestly, though, like, their skill set, I feel like they would kind of like equalize each other, you know, if that's even a goddamn word. Like, Strickland would kind of focus on the striking kind of things. You know, he is primarily a boxer. He knows how to shoot some takedowns. He has good takedown defense. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like Strickland would be the sniper in the situation. He would piece motherfuckers up, and Colby would be the one who's kind of slick with it, and obviously is gonna be the clear more offensive wrestler here, and would be taking guys down. All right, they kind of balance each other out. All right, it's like a really fucked up yin and yang, except instead of black and white, it's red, white, and blue. You know what I mean? But yeah, so Strickland and Colby, I'm gonna put him in the B tier here, man. Moving on up next to Islam Makhachev and Usman Nurmagomedov. This is just Team Father's plan here, okay? I'm gonna put these guys in the B tier because I feel like skill-wise, man, they're so fucking elite. We all know how much like the Nurmagomedov name and legacy and team just means nowadays. You know what I mean? And these guys are undeniably skilled as fuck, you know? The only guy that's been able to put in dent Umar is Merab, who's the bantamweight GOAT, and obviously we know how skilled Makhachev is. So these two combined, man, we know how good their team is, all right? And in real life, behind the scenes. So just in terms of like if they were gonna be a goddamn tag team here, and I feel like for the American fan base or a lot of guys in general, like the UK, whatever the fuck. Obviously, like, I'm not sure. Hey, to all my Dagestani, to all my Russian, whatever the hell, the people that are supporting Makhachev and Umar, right? You could be fans of them. You could love them. That's totally cool. I understand that. But listen, I'd be lying and you'd be lying if we didn't both say, my friend, that people want to see these guys lose. Like, a big reason why Merab escalated to becoming an even bigger babyface is because he simply just beat Umar and was simply just going against Umar. You know, people wanted to see him lose. People are really coming around to Makhachev now, but there's definitely people that want to see him lose. Like, there's something about that aura of invincibility and just never losing that makes people want to tune into them losing. And I mean, Jesus Christ, it's like Uncle Dana likes to brag. Like, these two guys, like Makhachev and Umar, they're not even from around the States or anything like that, but like, yet it was such a big draw over here in the States, like having them as a main and co-main. So people are tuning in to see them, whether they love them or not. You know what I mean? So Makhachev and Umar, I'll put them in the B tier. They win too damn much, okay? And it's not like they're the most exciting for the build-up of a fight, but I cannot deny their skill set. You know, I feel like they'd be compatible as fuck together. You know what I mean? Umar and Makhachev, they would kind of just have like that, just like mind reading, kind of like different wavelength. You know what I'm saying? Like they train together, they sleep together, they eat together. Pause, but they eat together. They do all this shit. You know what I mean? Being in the cage would be no different as a tag team. So I'm going to put them in the B tier. They would win too damn much, and the build-up wouldn't be that exciting, so I'm not going to put them in SRA, with all due respect to their fans. But yeah. Moving on, up next now, man, I had to include another one of these teams that's like an actual team, you know what I mean? Like not just some shit I'm making up. The Fighting Nerds, man, okay? I'm going to put them in the A tier here. Like people love to tune into them. The Four Horsemen of the Fighting Nerds. Like you could say how much you like some of them more than the other ones, or some of them might be more exciting to you than the other, but at the end of the day, people are tuning in and love to see them, and they have a lot of promise. Are all of them gonna win the belt? No. Are any of them gonna win the belt? Maybe. I could see one or two of them, you know what I mean, or at the very least getting a title shot. But I'm gonna include here, okay, like, you know, I've been making a couple of pro wrestling references in this video, and it's not like I'm someone who really watches it, but I know the basics. I know the who's and all that shit, okay? I know the bloodline, and okay, I'm gonna add Corey Sandhagen as an honor. I'm gonna add Corey Sandhagen as an honorary Fighting Nerd. He is like a Sami Zayn to the bloodline, okay? I'm throwing him in there like as that honorary member. Dude, I mean, I know the guy's a dork. I know people like to say Nerdhagen comparisons and shit. Now listen, Sandhagen's my favorite bantamweight. I want to preface that, okay? I'm going to UFC Iowa, and a big reason to that is like, I'm like, oh, Sandhagen main event. I gotta fucking see it. So keep that in mind. But Sandhagen, by all due respect, let's be honest, he's a fucking dork, all right? He's a lovable guy who can kick your ass, but he is a fighting nerd. I'm listening to him today at work, and he's like going on the Mighty Cast, and he's just kind of rambling, saying words I've never even fucking heard of before. All right, this guy is the embodiment of just like somebody who's a philosophy major trying to hurry up and finish his final 3 weeks earlier, just studying at a goddamn Starbucks with his very light pink drink. Jesus Christ, man. So Sandhagen, I fuck with the guy, but Jesus Christ, let's not act like this guy is not an honorary fighting nerd. I'm throwing him in there. The Fighting Nerds, I'm gonna put him in the A tier. Corey's just that little kind of just extra bit of menace that they need, all right? It's that extra bit of muscle that they need, all right? Someone to represent the bantamweights so that they can conquer every division, all right? 4 of them's not enough, so I'm gonna make it Corey Sandhagen and the Fighting Nerds. I'm gonna put these motherfuckers in the A tier, bro. Moving on, up next now, man, to Merab and Sterling, all right? This is literally just the team of best friends here, okay? Merab and Sterling, dude, these guys, at the end of the day, when Aljamain was the champion, I feel like you couldn't go another week without everybody just saying, you know, Merab, you gotta fight him. Merab, you gotta fight him. You know, I am not going to fight my best friend. Go fuck yourself, you know? We had to hear that from Merab all the time, and I feel like a lot of people were very frustrated with it, but let's not lie, man. We're kind of glad that these guys didn't fight. Let's not lie, okay? I understand that they should have fought. Uncle Dana was pissed about it. I was pissed about it. You were probably pissed about it. But in retrospect, man, I like seeing these guys just be homies, okay? And you can't deny that they are 2 of arguably the top 2 or 3 best bantamweights of all fucking time. So, I mean, Jesus, I can call them team best friend or team bantamweight goat or whatever the hell, man. Team, I can out wrestle you any fucking day, you know? Shit like that, man. You know what? I'm going to put him in the C tier, okay? Listen, I like Merab and I like Sterling. I'm going to be real here. But, like, as a team, all right, especially comparing these to other teams on this list, I'm not going to put them up super high, all right? I feel like they would be the type of team where it's just like they would spend too much time like in the cage just like talking about how their day's going and like what they're going to do later that night. Meanwhile, someone comes up from behind and they start beating their ass, all right? They're getting a little too involved with the friendship here, all right? They got to focus on what's going on, all right? So Merab and Sterling, I'm going to put them in the C tier. I feel like they wouldn't be the most exciting for the build-up either. They'd kind of just be like, yeah, you know, this isn't our first rodeo, all right? They would say some white ass shit like that. This isn't our first rodeo. We fought a lot of tougher teams, all right? Like they tried to stop us before, but we're the best friends of all best friends, all right? And it's just like, Jesus Christ, how many times you want to hear that? So Merab and Sterling, I fuck with it, I respect it, but they're not a team I'd really tune into like some of these other ones, you know what I mean? So I'll put them in the C tier. Moving on, up next now, man, and I didn't even realize it. Like, listen, I'm not trying to go for like a Team UK thing here. I swear to God, this was on accident. The reason I put Arnold Allen and Leon Edwards together here, Team Mumblemouth, baby. Yeah, dude. I mean, Jesus Christ. I'm trying to like Arnold Allen. I do like Arnold Allen. I'm a fan of his, man. I think he's one of the most underrated featherweights in the rankings or just on the goddamn roster. You know what I'm saying? But, dude, I'm trying to get invested in the guy. I'm trying to listen to his interviews and shit like that. And it's just like, I can't even make out some of these goddamn sentences sometimes. Lean more into the mic, brother. And then you have Leon Edwards. Jesus Christ. It is what it is, bro. I don't know how to talk to females, bro. It is what it is. Headshot dead? Did I mention headshot dead? Dude, Jesus Christ, shut the fuck up. You could barely get an appearance out of Leon, let alone a sentence. And then the sentences you're getting, you can't even understand it, alright? So Team Mumblemouth, Arnold Allen and Leon Edwards, okay? Can you tell that I'm not a Leon fan, but I'm a huge Allen fan? So it is what it is, man. I'm going to put these guys in the C tier, okay? I feel like that they wouldn't be able to even kind of communicate with each other or plan out strategies because I feel like they just wouldn't be able to understand each other. Or maybe, honestly, maybe it would cancel each other out and they could understand each other even clearer. You know what I'm saying? But I don't even fucking know here. I didn't mean to make it like a, team to represent the UK and shit like that. It really just says Team Mumblemouth. But I'm gonna put them in what did I say, the B tier or the C tier? I mean, yeah, I'll put them in the C tier here, you know what I mean? Moving on, up next now to Israel Adesanya and Robert Whittaker. Now, I feel like, these guys, it's like a kind of full 360 story, alright? This is someone we can apply what's actually been going on this year to this hypothetical dumbass video too, okay? We saw that, we obviously know these guys had a rivalry, okay? Like, they used to be enemies, some Goku and Vegeta shit, okay? And now they're at a phase where it's just like, they're at the very tail end of their careers, let's be honest, like they're probably not winning a belt, or especially not anytime soon. It's just like they're training together, they're buds. I know that like 10% of people are like, oh, this is the dumbest fucking thing ever, like you shouldn't be friends there, like I'm sick of all the friends in the sport. Get the fuck over it and tighten up your jammies, alright? Like this is honestly something that like me and I feel like a lot of other people, like we appreciated seeing Izzy and Whittaker make like that full 360 moment. We appreciate seeing them train together, alright? It's just like, it's someone that it's like, even when they're making their videos together, alright, breaking down fights and shit like that, like you're just seeing it, alright? You realize that in another life, they could have just been fucking homies, you know what I mean? So I'm down for it. I mean, there's not really like high stakes for either of these guys anymore, especially at this stage in their career. They've done what they've done, in my opinion, and they're like two of the greatest middleweights of all time. But listen, man, like they are... I know a lot of people fucking can't stand Adesanya and hate Adesanya, but on paper at least, like they're a babyface kind of team, all right? Two very recognizable names that people want to tune into here. I'm going to put Izzy and Whittaker, yeah, I'll put them in the A tier, man. I feel like it's a team that people could really get behind, all right? I'm going to put them in the A tier here. I feel like that they could teach each other a few things or bring the best out of each other, and I like the story that they got going on. So moving on up next here, man, to Alex Pereira and Yuri Prochazka. Jesus Christ. You wouldn't be able to get a word out of these two, but I'm going to put him in the S tier sheerly because of just what you would see in the cage alone, okay? Two of these guys combined are just like, you want to talk about a fusion dance. Jesus Christ, this is breaking the goddamn power scaling because these two are some of the most exciting fighters in UFC history, pound for pound. Pereira's, having some of the most exciting title runs, especially in recent memory, stepping up short notice, saving a bunch of cards, racking up the highlight reel with so many knockouts over former champions. Yuri Prochazka, Jesus Christ, the dude's had 7 fights in the UFC, and it feels like he's been here for a goddamn eternity, and I mean that in the best way possible. I love Yuri Prochazka. It's just like all of his fights have been knockouts or back and forth wars, and I'm here for it. He's like the light heavyweight Justin Gaethje. As soon as he get here, they're just throwing him to the wolves, and it's just like it's gonna be like that till the day he retires from the UFC, man. So Pereira and Prochazka, you're not really tuning into them for like what they have to say on the mic. Well, actually, Prochazka, he actually seems like he's a funny fucking dude, and I respect it, whatever the hell he's trying to make out of English, you know what I mean? But my point is, you're not mostly tuning in to the build-up or what they have to say on the mic, okay? But in terms of the sheer excitement and how much people love these two, okay, you can't deny it. I'm going to put them in the S tier here, all right? And moving on to the last one we got here, this is just team fucking bullies, okay? This is just fucking the team that's going to go and make people cry, okay? You thought DDP was a bully on the mic? Nah, man, I'm going to put Dominic Cruz and TJ Dillashaw. Okay, here's one for the old heads to close out the video here. I'm going to put Dom and TJ in the A tier here, okay? I feel like they would be a good as fuck team together. I'm not going to lie, okay? Like, they would literally just break people. If you just put somebody against them, all right, if it's a team or if it's just one dude, if you put them even in just a room together with them or a face-off or something like that, and you just let them talk, okay, to Dom and TJ for like 30 minutes straight, they're going to walk out scarred for goddamn life. Like, Dom and TJ, all right, are genuine bullies on the mic. I mean, you see TJ on the Jackson podcast telling everybody, all right, that they're never going to achieve their goddamn dreams. And Dominic Cruz, we all know how brutal and just like cold he is on the mic and with the shit talk. But I can get behind it, okay? These guys, all right, they have, say whatever you want about TJ on the roids and all that, but like these guys have great fight IQ inside the cage, and they're some of the greatest bantamweights to ever do it. And it's something to make the old head say, you know what I mean? So actually, ironically, for a bit of lore, like Dom and TJ was the first ever UFC fight that I saw all the way back in 2016. Dom and TJ, man, all right, these guys bully people on the mics, and I feel like even though they hate each other and even though they were enemies, I feel like that they could get along here, all right? It's been a long time, you know what I mean? And even in their prime, maybe they could fucking make it work. So yeah, that is gonna be it here, man, for what I think is the UFC tag team tier list here, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know some teams that you would make up. Let me know where you would rank the teams that I came up with. Let me know all of it in the comments below. Thanks so much for making this far into this literally goofy ass dumbass video. I appreciate it a lot, man. Thanks so much for giving me your time and attention. I appreciate it. So I hope you guys have a good time watching the fights this weekend, man. Be safe, enjoy your drinks, enjoy your joint, whatever the hell you're gonna do. Time by yourself, time with the fellas, I don't know, man, but have a good time. If you could help me get to 1,000 subscribers, I'd really appreciate it. But regardless, I appreciate y'all for making it this far. So have a good one, boys. All the smoke here, Uncle Smoke here, man, and I will see you all next time.